a brand or an industry guarantees you safety for doing an activity that you have typically avoided in 2020, for example, traveling or ordering food or going to a mall, if a brand says that it's perfectly fine to do all this and they're going to make it 100% safe to do all this, will you resume that activity again? And that's the poll for you. Can a guarantee of brand safety by a brand motivate you to start doing an activity that you avoided in 2020? 5 more seconds. It's an easy one. Okay, there. So I am going to end the poll now. Thank you so much. And yes, so almost 75% of us have said yes, a brand or an industry body guaranteeing us safety will motivate us to start traveling and ordering in food again. Thank you so much. And with that, let's move on to our next session where we have the Vice President Digital from Indigo, Nitin Sethi, with us to talk about how he's got customers back onto planes again. So thank you. Thank you for joining us today, Nitin. I think this is a fabulous discussion that I'm really looking forward to.
A pleasure, Shining. Thanks for having me. And it's an interesting topic. And I'm going to again talk my heart out, share some facts in a fun loving way. The previous panel has a lot of off funnel transactions and bottom funnel and conversions. I'm just going to take it easy, take a step back and see that, what core values we have implemented and done few things right on the customer experience. Uh, so
You need to share your screen.
yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, sexy boys and girls, we say it here, right? Customer empathy is the key, and of course, being from the design stream, the power of design thinking to lead this transformation. COVID created a lot of challenges, but also enabled a lot of opportunities, and that's the pitch. So, when everybody was in an uncertain ecosystem and on the canvas, what has done one thing which my friend Udit also spoke in the last panel: hope, right? And we started from there because hope is a foundation layer of the whole humankind. Sky will be blue again. That's what we do. We make people's create memories. We make people, you know realize their dream, and flying high is what we do. So sky will be blue again. So starting from a very conservative approach with uncertainty, we moved to this. We took a storytelling way, and we took off. Though flights were not happening, but we made people realize the power of traveling, and we bring the assurance. Pre-COVID, Indigo was actually at a 48% market share. That means every second passenger and every second flight was ours. Post-COVID, unlike many brands, we are actually gained market share, and 58% market share. We've also had 60% market share, a few months back for a couple of months. Currently at a 58% market share. So what, as a brand, we have done right? And I've started with customer empathy. I'll again take a step back and what we have done right. So my pitch always says that, rather to acquire more customers, what have you done right to retain the existing customers? Because those are the customers who trusted you. Every flight got cancelled. Nobody knew that when they are going to fly back again. And what as brand we have done to enable that, to win that trust and bring that confidence back. Few things which we have done. We focused on co-innovation. What we mean by co-innovation is the public-private partnership, and also enabling the competitive skills of our OTAs, meta searches, and travel agents. So our brand positioning was lean, clean, flying machine. Because if it was a mindset change, people was not willing to travel; they were afraid to travel, and so we focused on, safety, hygiene, sanitization, and we enabled customer self-service as a first point. Because just like you, most of our call center employees could not reach the offices. Everything was standstill. So for 2 months, for a customer, the flight got cancelled, he can't reach out, his money is stuck, then what he should do, the response time became 5x because the volume became 20x for us. A simple chatbot which solves 80% of static queries, right? That helped us. Skyrocketed. We started getting 10x of the volume, but also the lead time, the response time got shortened with this. Very simple solution. There is no rocket science on that. Second, storytelling. When the operation started after 2 months, you know, it so we were not seeing good loads, and we brainstormed. We said that what should we do? As Indigo, we've never done TVCs. We have never done big celebrity endorsement. We always made our customers our brand ambassadors, and that's the core value we've enabled. We said, okay, this is the route we're gonna say, and we started putting customer stories, customer testimonials on our social, including LinkedIn, including Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We got fabulous response that started building confidence. Also, the hand holding and the video content really helped us in building confidence back. We've started seeing good bookings on our direct channel in the few weeks because OTAs were not functional at that time. But it was only one-sided bookings. So what we have done to actually increase the first site bookings to double bookings, and it took us, couple of months. It happened with the customer handholding. Now, what do you mean by customer handholding? It's just not that, telling them, okay, these are the quarantine rules, because that only takes the uncertainty away. It also not about only telling them, okay, your money is safe with the credit shell, but it's about that as a brand, we're taking all the measures for you. For us, you as a customer always comes first. And starting our CEO writing a note to all customer base. On the other hand, we are sending a communication on their well-being, on what they should do even if they are not traveling with us. That really helped us and win their heart back, because I think in the time of crisis, everybody felt lonely, everybody felt confined, and they really wanted somebody to, you know understand the pain and issues they're going through. And that really helped us. Also, we've enabled the WhatsApp communication channel. So when people started, and these are a very, very small thing, but helped Indigo in a big, big way. WhatsApp commerce, it's not only about sending a boarding pass, it's also about enabling transaction, because from DGCA mandate, the whole web check-in is became mandatory. People had to come up with new things like health declaration. Nobody knew how the health declaration needs to be filled, right? The digitization of back tax. So the whole digitization, which otherwise took 2 years, only took 2 weeks, and we got only 1 week to do it. With that, we've also used, when I say co-innovation, we utilize the existing ecosystem and tools where customers are already comfortable, and we started utilizing it. And it was easy win, because we've started working with media houses to startups to big players, and we brought everybody together because we can't do everything on our own. Also, as Indigo, we've always had this complaint that we don't have a loyalty program. And for aviation, having a loyalty program is not easy, because it's 7-8% of cost. If you make 700 rupees, out of which 7-8 rupees goes into loyalty. So we came back with a very innovative co-branded card where, and it's as good as loyalty, because for a customer, we started valuing you. Again, it's not about how much discount you give, it's how much humanized experience you give them, that okay, we hear you and we value you. In the COVID times, with social listening, what we also figure out that a lot of people, because of state-wise quarantine rules and uncertainties, that when they were booking, a lot of people were canceling, right? It un, unsurety, and that was playing on the mind. Then coming back with flexible fares and the type of offerings on the product and the feature side, that really helped Indigo. And I'm not saying that we were the only one to do it, but we've tried, and we tried fast. We tried better than competition, and that shows in our market share. And that was very well taken. So if you look at our numbers, Indigo is already touching close to 1 lakh customer flying every day, with close to 800 flights now, and that's very encouraging. So I think by March we'll be hitting 88.5% market because of our domestic merit. The second last point, which which is very important, we've focused on organic reach, right? We made SOP pages, we made state-wise pages, we made destination pages, and we started engaging with people because I think the means of travel change, the need of travel change. Now, what we are seeing the trend, we are seeing a revenge travel because people want to travel. It's a spring growth we are seeing. I not even say V shape. 3 months, 4 months back, when we were seeing hardly 20-25% load, we are seeing good 65% loads on our majority, network. Also, very surprisingly, what happened that tier 2, tier 3 markets are seeing better loads because people don't want to go to Mumbai. There are a lot of COVID cases, but people want to go to Bhopal or other places. Yeah. And that really helped us. Rather than spending money on the dollar to get the customer, we spend money on the content and traction to engage the customer. And of course, uptakes on insurance, Eat Plus Meal, which adds to customer delight on this uncertain time, really helped. Now, what I talked about, I'll show you and prove by numbers because nobody can lie on numbers. Imagine 1.5 million people trying to reach your call center, and this is the average, right? With a 77% chat closure. That means that person who's trying to reach out to you otherwise on an email or a call center would have got a self-service on this small, and the ROI is excellent on this. We, you know, and of course, should give credit to Yellow Messenger on this. It's their piece. Small wins, but every small drop counts. We know that a lot of traffic and passengers were coming from tier 2 markets and wanted to go to tier 2, right? So Delhi Patna was one of the hot selling sectors. Now they don't have, Apples and hi-fi Androids. They were using it on the feature phones browser. So the progressive web app, which is an app like experience on a browser, 300 additional bookings which otherwise we could have lost to our competition or OTA for that matter. And imagine that day after day. This is the average. On peak time, it's even more sometimes. We focused on funnel. Uh, the data shows that people trusted the brand because all what we have done. Also on the ancillaries, right? So initially there was no food availability on board. We had only exclusive online pre-booking, and number shows 53% uptake. It was exclusive, it was well packed and supported with a lot of video content. I keep saying 3 V's: video, vernacular, and voice, right? That's the growth path which we have. We are already in caching on video and vernacular. Again, numbers, keep it simple, keep it informative, and the numbers. So what we have done, we've utilized the lockdown time, when we were not operating, to better the user journeys and use cases on the personas, and we really focused on it, and the number shows. Ancillary sold, that's where a lot of brands make money. So compared to other competitive channels, our direct channels have almost double growth on ancillaries when we opened up, and we are seeing very, very good growth. You can say 50% month on month growth on these numbers. Online check-in, right? So it wasn't very easy thing to do because overnight government said that online check-in is mandatory. Some people have to do health declaration. People also need to do the state-wise forms, and the digitalization took a rocket pace. A 2 years work had to be done in 2 weeks, and we have done beautifully with, again, customer empathy. If you don't want to buy a seat, you don't want to pay us on a counter, there is a auto assign seat where you don't need to pay. So we always kept the customer empathy, and that's what attracted more and more direct channel traffic on our platform. 50% month on month growth, I told you, right? Pre-book menus. Multilingual, this is key, right? As an aviation brand, most of people felt that why a airline brand needs to invest in this, why can't you do 4-5 pages in Hindi just like everybody else, right? I don't want to name a player, but that's how people are doing it. We've actually invested, we have translated the whole platform, and it started helping us in reach because the type of users which coming from our growth from tier 2 tier 3 market has accelerated. I think I'm a firm believer of A/B testing, right? So uh, we get variety of traffic from different user segments. So we get good booking from agents, partners, OTAs, and consumers. So when you book as a customer versus you book as an agent, you want different experience because an agent, I don't choose meal and seat for you. So that A/B testing platform really helped us, and invested in this. That's about enriching your platform to a level that people just love it. Simple is difficult. Plan B, your flight got cancelled. Okay. Now, either you wait on call center for 5-6 minutes, 3 minutes minimum, or there is a link, you click on it, you are empowered, you pick whether you want a refund or you want a different flight or different time, right? So I'm not saying this feature was not there, but this feature was not very optimized and eased. That's what we have done. 80% opt-ins. So out of 100, 80% people were getting served through this automated. Otherwise, again, it's all manual work. Imagine more and more people, this much volume of the cancelled flights, and you are solving everything manually. One more important thing, you booked on MMT, you booked on GoIBibo, you booked on ClearTrip, any of our partner channels. And PNR is a very technical 6-digit number. You don't recall it. So even if you don't recall it, you have your mobile number, you have your sector and your credentials. So you don't need to remember your PNR. It may seem a small feature, but 770 people every day use this. That means 770 people less on your call center, and those 770 people I'm able to retain because they otherwise book through a different channel, or when they go to a different channel, there is a good chance I may lose them to my competition. Money, right? The dollar is in the eye. You were doing something, you left, carry forward the journey. Very basic case of personalization, but very opt, right? Again, low hanging fruits first. One of the very difficult piece to solve in aviation is most serious e-commerce business ever, right? Nobody's here to window shop. People are very serious. Average ticket size is a lot for domestic, 5,000 plus, and for international 15,000 plus and onwards. Now, retaining your customer is the most difficult thing to do. Having more and more payment options, enriching your platform, making sure you address the drop case as well as performance, this really helped us. So what we could not do in the regular BAU, we've actually invested time and resources when we were resting, right? We was getting prepared to have a very aggressive stand. Unlike most of the brands where people were on back foot, Indigo, that's the DNA and the culture of the company, that we have an aggressive stance. What next? What is coming next? Pursue big market. So this is, of course, flashy. Pursue big market opportunities, solve big problems. Looks very flashy, but what it means, right? I think WhatsApp commerce going to be huge, right? Everybody is on WhatsApp. Do you want to, you just need to utilize that channel, just not to send the communication, open it with a two-way. We've just integrated our Dotty, which is our chatbot platform, on WhatsApp. That means I'll be able to serve more and more customers that. Also my cross sell, upsell, and my last minute communication. You reach the airport, you will get your belt information, your gate information, any last minute changes on that channel, right? This is one example. But again, if you take a step back and look at the 10 examples which I've gave you guys, everything has customer centricity and customer empathy, and then we have done it. It's not a fancy solution. It's the problem which we gone after, and we simplified it. I will take questions, and I think I'm on time. Shiny, you're on mute.
Thank you. Absolutely, you're bang on time. We have one question for you. So Naveen Kumar, I think Naveen Kumar has asked this question previously as well, is how important is the incrementality test for you?
Oh, I'm sorry, I could not get you. Please, can you come
So
again?
how important is doing the incrementality test for you?
No, very very important, because if you don't test and validate your idea and get the voice of the customer, it's actually only your perspective, right? You can't scale before you actually go test it out. And I keep saying market is out, so you have to go out in the market to validate your ideas. Otherwise you may do something very wrong, and it takes time and effort. And in aviation, with such a regulated business, it's not easy to reverse things.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I think, Nitin, I'll have to move on because we're running slightly behind on time.
No problem.
Thank you so much for taking us through the Indigo journey in 2020. I think all of us had a lot to learn from it. So simple yet effective, and empathy is the keyword that I got from there. So thank
Yes.
you so much for this
Pleasure
session.
is all mine. Thanks for having me, Shiny.